A reading from the first letter of St. Paul to Timothy. Beloved, I am writing you, although I hope to visit you soon. But if I should be delayed, you should know how to behave in the household of God, which is the church of the living God, the pillar and foundation of truth. Undeniably, great is the mystery of devotion, who was manifested in the flesh, vindicated in the Spirit, seen by angels, proclaimed to the Gentiles, believed in throughout the world, taken up in glory. The word of the Lord. How great are the works of the Lord! How great are the works of the Lord! I will give thanks to the Lord with all my heart, in the company and assembly of the just. Great are the works of the Lord, exquisite in all their delights. How great are the works of the Lord! Majesty and glory are his work, and his justice endures forever. He has won renown for his wondrous deeds. Gracious and merciful is the Lord. How great are the works of the Lord! He has given food to those who fear him. He will forever be mindful of his covenant. He has made known to his people the power of his works, giving them the inheritance of the nations. How great are the works of the Lord! Alleluia, 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 alleluia. Your words, Lord, are spirit and life. You have the words of everlasting life. Alleluia.
The Lord be with you. Reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. Jesus' father and mother were amazed at what was said about him. And Simeon blessed them and said to Mary, his mother, "Behold, this child is destined for the fall and rise of many in Israel, and to be a sign that will be contradicted. And you yourself a sword will pierce, so that the thoughts of many hearts may be revealed." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Have you ever noticed that in our liturgical year, different months are dedicated for certain aspects of our faith? For instance, August is the month of the Immaculate Heart of Mary, even though the other feasts about Immaculate Heart fall in different places. August is dedicated to Mary, the Immaculate Heart of Mary. September is dedicated to Mary, the Mother of Sorrows, for the whole month of September. So yesterday we had the Feast of the Exaltation of the Holy Cross, which we know Mary was involved in that, and there was certainly lots of pain and suffering involved in that. Today we have the memorial of Our Lady of Sorrows for remembering all of those 7 sorrows that the Blessed Mother experienced in her life of faith. And you might recall that these 7 are as follows. There's no quiz today, just a reminder. Prophecy of Simeon, which is what we heard here today. In our gospel reading, our 2 choices for gospels today, one with about Simeon saying, "A sword shall pierce your heart," and we know what that would be, the prophecy of the crucifixion. And also the other readings, the gospel from St. John, which was at the crucifixion scene where a new relationship, a spiritual relationship began when Jesus said to John, "Behold your mother," and to Mary, "Behold your son," a whole new spiritual relationship in which we partake of as we know that Mary is our spiritual mother. So the prophecy of Simeon is first. Then we had the flight into Egypt, was another sorrow of Mary, of course. That had to be sorrowful in that whole events going on there. Then we had the loss of Jesus for 3 days. Remember that one? They all went up to the temple, and they're on their way home, and the caravans are going, and all of the relatives are there, and Jesus disappears. Can't be found. Well, if you can't find somebody, where's the first place you look? The church, right? You know, sometimes people will come to the rectory and they'll say, "We can't find you." And I would say, "Oh, well, did you try the church?" "Oh, no, we didn't do that." Sometimes that's where you go, right? So somebody might be in church praying or doing who knows whatever. So the loss of Jesus for 3 days, and then when he's found, what happens is people are amazed by what he was saying. You know, this youngster in the temple proclaiming all the goodness of God and what's going to happen, and the Messiah is coming and all of that. Messiah is here. And they were amazed by what Jesus was saying. But it had to be so absolutely anxious for Joseph and Mary when they couldn't find Jesus. I mean, you know how it is if you can't find your child for like 10 seconds, right? You know about that, right? Excellent. Just want to make sure you're all out there this morning. But you know what anxiety that would bring to a parent if you can't find your child. 3 days, right? So what did they do? First, they trusted in God, didn't they? They trusted that Jesus would be okay. Then there had to be some anxiety in there because they were just as human as we are. So anyway, Jesus was found in the temple proclaiming amazing things to the people there. Then, of course, after that, then it becomes more sorrowful with Jesus on the way to Calvary. And we know one of the stations is Jesus meets his mother. How absolutely suffering and horrible that must have been for her to experience that. Then, of course, the crucifixion, which, you know, is like so unbelievable, we could hardly even relate to that mother would be seeing her son actually going through not only the passion and on the way to Calvary, but to actually be crucified. And that brought certainly sorrow to her. Then she receives the body of Jesus. And of course, that's depicted in the Pietà so many times that Mary receives her son. And then finally, the last sorrow, the burial of Christ. And of course, we knew that Jesus had proclaimed that he would rise from the dead. And she certainly would have believed that. We don't know exactly what was going on in Mary's mind. We can only surmise that Our Lady of Sorrows experienced tremendous suffering. And people did stand by her. And she never, ever abandoned Jesus. In the midst of all of this, never one time, never 1 minute did she abandon her son. So she's a great intercessor for us. We can look to her because as she stood at the foot of the cross and people stood by her, we might have the opportunity and a calling to do that for someone today. To stand by somebody in their suffering, to pray for somebody who really needs our help and direction. Because you know anybody you need to pray for today? I know that would be a resounding yes, huh? Starts with us, right? We need to pray for ourselves. We need to pray for one another. How wonderful it is that you're all here today, that we can pray for each other and with each other and pray for others. Mary, Our Lady of Sorrows, can truly help us. What a tremendous example she was. Let us know that in her sorrow brought great joy in the resurrection. We too have that same promise even as we go through suffering with Jesus and Mary, that there will be great joy in the goodness of eternity. If you have a chance today, give someone the help, stand by them, and give them the help and strength they need. May God bless us.